Hey guys, welcome back to the Stop Renting Podcast. Rodrigo Posada,
Kara Berger,
Shoreline Group, Sarasota, Florida.
Yes,
welcome. We're going to have merch online soon.
Yes, we are. So stay tuned for that.
Please buy the merch.
Buy the merch, yes. Represent us.
We need mugs.
We do. I know. We're going to get some mugs and put them right here.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Okay, so today we are talking about hurricane preparedness.
Oh, man. So
what do you need to do, homeowners, to prepare for a hurricane?
Yeah, so
big topic here in Florida.
Yeah, we've gotten hit by three major hurricanes this year.
So this was the worst hurricane season we have ever had.
Correct.
Living here my whole life, and people living here before I was alive.
Correct.
Have all said the same thing.
Yeah, it was a bad one. For Florida, I was born and raised in Miami, so the last one that I remember was this bad was when Wilma and Katrina, which I believe was 2005. Yep. So it's crazy in a way because when I lived in Miami on the other coast of Florida,
right,
hurricanes were normal, and I would always hear like, "Oh, Sarasota, like
it's the gem," and you know, knock on wood, it doesn't get really hit that much.
So, but we've been here 6-7 years already, and we had 2 years ago we had Ian, which is really bad, or Irma and Ian.
We've gotten some like damage, but nothing like
it's whether the last one we got
messing with our coast.
Correct.
It's just been scary damage, but like other areas have been way more impacted, and then recently the last like 3 storms. Whatever they were now, I can't remember.
Helene was really bad.
Flooding. Debbie got a lot of rain in the flooding.
Yeah, Debbie was really bad, and then the last one was Milton, which was a direct hit to Siesta Key. Thank God it slowed down. I've been like my whole life in Florida, so I've always been watching hurricanes, and I've never seen one get to 180 miles an hour.
No, that was
when it was way out in the Gulf, but still.
Nor have I ever been in an area where it's been like a direct hit. Like you see it coming over your town, you're like, what? But it was actually weird because it was the eye of the storm.
Yeah, the eye is I remember
that was so weird because it's like calm at some points and you're like, whoa.
I remember when we went out, it was Wilma, because it was right after Katrina. Wilma came straight through Miami, and I remember like my dad's like, "We're under the eye, let's go outside," and it was wild.
It's just weird.
Yeah, and it's scary. Yeah, depending on how it hits you, sometimes the front before the eye goes over, it's a little bit worse. But like now, this time that we got hit, it's a little bit. It was worse because the back part of the eye was a lot stronger.
Yeah.
So I'm not a meteorologist. I can't explain it, but
But we did get hit pretty bad. So big topic. We're going to talk about how to prepare your home for homeowners for hurricanes.
Yeah. And I guess before we start that, I will say I think it is beautiful, like how the whole community came together.
Literally Sarasota strong. I mean, strong everywhere, but it is interesting when you've never seen, never having to deal with something like this. And then you see everybody on Siesta Key and Maria Island, Bradenton, like everywhere come together, Longboat, all the coast. Everyone like was near the coast with the like 4 feet of water. It's just crazy. So but we've been on it, and honestly, we're bouncing back like really fast.
Yeah.
Like, the beaches are open, so
And then Starfish Company, shout out to Starfish Company for coming back up. It's an amazing restaurant. Me and Nicole were just there maybe a month and a half ago, and it got wrecked. But it's back up.
They're like these are local businesses, but that's why you go support them.
Yes.
So now things are open. Go out to eat. Go spend your money at these places and help support the locals. It back.
But I will say, from everything we're seeing, Sarasota is going to come through this. This whole coast, Florida, is going to be fine.
Yes. A lot of people are nervous about coming here, but again, knock on wood, this doesn't happen too often. And if anything, I think preparedness. A lot of people are going to be even more prepared.
Before you buy the house, what to look for. Once you own the house,
just know how to navigate that. Because if anything, Sarasota is on the map, and Sarasota is a beautiful place. And you go downtown, and it's still absolutely gorgeous, and our beaches are stunning. So that's not going to change. It just takes a little bit of cleanup. And you should still definitely move here because this is still my favorite place in the world. I'm not leaving.
We're not leaving. No, but hurricanes happen. You have to be prepared for them.
Yes.
We talked in another episode about things you could do as a seller to better prepare your house for selling it. Hurricane preparation is a big thing. Generators, what's it called? Shutters, windows, doors, hurricane doors, whatever.
Yes.
So there's things that you can do to prepare for a storm. Hurricanes are going to happen. Whether they're getting worse or not worse, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But hurricanes happen.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're
not meteorologists, but this is Florida. Hurricanes are going to happen.
Yes.
We're going to have mosquitoes.
Yes.
Summers are hot.
So what we can do is prepare.
Yes. So that's what we're going to go over today.
Yes. Okay.
It's not funny. It's sad, but
no, it's not sad. But like, we got to keep moving forward.
I am proud of our city and our county and what we've done to come back.
We 100%.
Shout out to the small business owners. I'm going to Starfish Company today.
Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna go too. Let's go. Anyway,
tag them.
what are the most critical steps homeowners should take when a hurricane is approaching?
So you want to have supplies. Water is, you want to have water bottles. You want to have candles. You want to have, if you don't have a generator, you want to have everything charged. Fuel is a big thing. Food. Yeah. One that my dad taught me is the second you think there's any chance of a hurricane, like, because you're going to know about it about a week out, you're going to start to hear rumblings. That day, go and fill up your gas tank.
100. Do it in advance because that's a huge thing.
Yeah, everybody freaks out last minute.
Last minute freaks out. The lines are insane. Yeah. It's actually, and then there's so many people that are complaining about, do you even need gas? Why is this person getting, you know, people filling up the generators. There's a lot of things to it, but I would suggest, and that's what I did, and that's what we all do, go in advance. You see a hurricane out there, and whether it's coming to you or not, go
just fill up the gas tank, Because even if when everybody's freaking out, you're at 3/4 of a tank, it's better to be at 3/4.
100%.
So that's my dad taught ingrained in me from living in Miami. The second the meteorologists say the word hurricane warning or whatever, even if it's a week out, go fill up the cars. All the cars, fill them up with gas. If you have a generator, obviously fill up the canisters. Don't wait till last minute.
No, get started ASAP.
Water bottles are a big thing. Usually what we do is, after the hurricanes, if we did use water bottles, whenever the situation, we go back and we replenish it. We have a little closet in our house with, again, candles.
It doesn't hurt to have those items in your home anyways.
Correct.
So yeah, prepare all those little items.
Water's supplies, a big one. Water bottles.
Food, food that, because if your power goes out and your fridge doesn't work, you need food to survive.
Correct.
So things like that. Get all the supplies as soon as possible.
Yeah. Be stocked before hurricane season.
Yes. I'm trying to see on here if there's anything else. No, we'll talk about it in just a bit. How can homeowners determine if their property is in a high risk area for flooding or storm surge?
So it should have been done before you bought the house. So like if you're looking as a buyer, you're looking to purchase a home, obviously look for hurricane preparation of the house, but also the flood zone that it's in. Your buyer's agent should be educated on the flood zones if you're buying in a flood prone. If anywhere in Florida, they should know about flood zones. So if they don't, red flag. Once you've already bought the house, you probably know what flood zone you're in or what evacuation zone you're in. You would probably want to not be in evacuation zone at all. But yeah, there's FEMA maps out there. If you're looking to buy, your buyer's agent should be able to tell you pretty quickly this property is either in Florida. It's X is the best one. X500 is kind of iffy, and then AE is a flood zone.
Yep.
The exact evacuation zone that you're in is dependent on your exact. It's called an elevation certificate, which basically tells you the floor of your house, how high off the water line it is, off the sea level. Obviously, the lower, the worse it is. So if you're 2 feet above sea level and there's a 10-foot storm surge coming, not good.
It's like, was it A, B, C for evacuation? They did that recently?
A, B, C, D, E, F.
They'll tell you where you're at. But,
correct. The FEMA map, you can look it up like FEMA flood maps, and you can type in the address, and it's a little interactive map. So.
Your agent should know too.
Correct. But that's a good thing to verify when you're looking at properties. What flood zone is it in? And this is not just for hurricanes, but for insurance purposes.
I was going to say for flood insurance.
If you're taking a mortgage out, I had one I showed the other day. It's gorgeous property, but it's in a flood zone. And I sent the address to my mortgage guy, and he literally is like, "It's going to be a $6,000 insurance policy." Like this so that's a non.
It's just like it can't is it that worth it to you? Like you have the funds to do so.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it affects your pre-approval as well, because that's an extra $500 a month that you would need to pay to your mortgage or for the insurance. So it affects.
But some people are fine with it, especially if you can get, with all these hurricanes, if you can get a lower price, but then you're still paying obviously a lot for insurance because flood insurance is going up.
Correct.
But it might be worth it, especially if you really want to live on the water. So just depends on your situation. What are the essential items homeowners should have in an emergency hurricane kit?
Yeah. So batteries, water's a big one, canned food, pasta, anything you can, if you have a grill, stock up on propane. We talked about the cars, getting gas in the cars.
Flashlight.
Flashlight.
Fans. Like the little portable fans. You get hot really easily.
It sucks. So we bought a generator this time around, and the only thing I'm missing in my hurricane preparation kit is like a little portable AC unit. So that like I can set it up in the room. So at least our room is cold at night. Sometimes our hurricane seasons line up when it's kind of hot and muggy outside.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
But it's like in summer.
But water, batteries, canned goods, dry goods.
Just like a doomsday kit, for a hurricane.
Yeah, it's Florida, so you got to be a little bit of a prepper within reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a bit. And you can probably Google it. What's the basic stuff? But again, batteries, candles, water's a big one. Canned goods, dry goods.
Just things if your power went out, your AC went out, everything went out, food's gone. What do you need?
Correct.
Basically those things.
Yeah.
Can you explain the importance of securing windows and doors, and what are the best methods for doing so?
So you should, if you can buy a house that already has hurricane-proof windows, perfect. That's the best one. Amazing. Make sure if the house is a new construction, perfect. It should already be done. If it's a house that was upgraded with those windows, make sure that they also upgraded the doors and the garage door, because you want to have every access point of the property hurricane proofed, and it, like we talked about, it also gives you a little bit of a insurance discount. So if your house is older and it doesn't have hurricane proof windows, you should try to have some type of shutters, whether it's the aluminum ones or the plastic ones, something to cover the windows. Worst case scenario, I do it sometimes for some of our properties, the plywood. The reason for that, I don't think anybody ever talks about it, but the main reason you want to protect the windows is in case when the hurricane comes, if a window gets smashed, the air pressure from the hurricane and the winds gets into the house. And then once it's inside, depending on how strong or not strong your roof is, that pressure rips the roof off. So it's not the wind coming in. If it's all the access points of the house are closed, the chances your roof gets ripped off are very low. Unless it's a very old house or it's a mobile home or something, but like a good structural home. Once a window or a door gets open and the air pressure gets inside, the chances that the roof gets blown out get way higher. So that's why you protect the windows at all costs, and then the doors and the garage doors. Any way that air pressure could get in, you want to
block out. You want to seal your whole entire home.
It's a bubble.
Shutters, yes, they're a pain in the butt to put up. Even boarding your home with just plywood. Everything's a pain in the butt, but it's 100% worth it. I think people can be very lax about it, like we have before, because we never really had issues. But like this is the first time we put our shutters up, and we'll probably just continue to do it because it's better to be safe than sorry and have to deal with, any kind of destruction after because you just didn't prepare.
Correct. And one thing, and again, the insurance people can probably quote or not quote this, but have heard from some insurance companies, if you do not take some type of proactive steps, like if your house has older windows and you don't do anything and there's serious damage to the property, that is one of the ways the insurance companies can come around and be like, you did not take any steps at all. You failed in your blah, blah, blah. Their contracts are huge. Yeah. So that be cognizant of that. I've heard that from several insurance people. Yeah. I want the insurance people to fact check me on that. But I have heard again that if you don't do anything to protect the house and your house gets damaged during a hurricane, the insurance companies can use that.
How can homeowners ensure that their roof and gutters are hurricane ready? That's a big one, gutters, because I was just thinking about it. In my neighborhood, I saw a lot of gutters kind of sporadically around. Like I think we had someone else's gutter in our backyard. So
the gutters, obviously, if they get torn off, it's going to happen, but you would want them to be clear of debris. So when the water starts to come, it effectively washes the water away from your house.
Right.
You might not be in a flood zone and there might not be any storm surge, but if there's enough rain, which happened with Debbie, I believe,
a lot of rain.
The water can pile up and can get into your house, and it only takes an inch or two of water in the house to cause issues. Gutters obviously prevent that, so you want your roof to be clear of debris so it doesn't get into the gutters, and you want your gutters free of debris so they can do what they're there for, which is move water,
drain the water
away from the property.
Pile up, and then
that's something. Climb on the roof or carefully. Or hire somebody to get up there and clean the gutters out. Make sure you don't have debris and stuff in the roof.
Yep.
Because if there's I saw that I was at a listing showing the other day, and they had this 10-foot tree thing laying on the roof. If that would have been there during a hurricane, it could scrape against the roof and cause damage. So you want the roof clear, you want the gutters cleared.
What role does landscaping play in hurricane preparedness, and what steps should homeowners take to minimize damage from trees and outdoor items? So kind of like what you said, if you see any type of trees leaning close to your home.
Yeah. So we were talking about, so if there's any trees hanging over the property line, you should probably cut those. We did that before the previous storm, and it helped. It saved us.
Oh, good.
Anything that you think can be thrown around very easily, like chairs, I don't know if that's considered landscaping, whatever, like patio furniture, you want that all secure. You don't want that flying around. It only takes maybe 50, 60 mile per hour winds to pick up chairs.
Like any type of rocks, or like I'm thinking about our fire pit in the back, like any type of loose bricks or anything that can easily be picked up and thrown. You just want to make sure that's secured or remove it, do whatever you can. All the any trees, like we honestly even tied down some of our trees with bungee cord.
Smart.
And just kind of put it to our fence because we have like aluminum fence, and it really helped because otherwise they could be falling over, and just kind of preparing that way.
That's a good one. But yeah, anything, especially if you have a property with big trees, you don't want any limbs overhanging your house. That's something you should probably do throughout the year so you're not scrambling before a hurricane. But yeah, any trees limbs can fall and damage roofs very easily.
Very easily.
Yeah, if a tree falls completely, that's a whole nother issue. But most of the time, it's just big limbs that fall.
Yeah, and debris being thrown around.
Correct.
What are some key insurance considerations homeowners should review before hurricane season begins?
So that's a big one.
Big one.
Correct. So there is a big difference between homeowners insurance, hurricane insurance, and flood insurance. The hurricane and the homeowners sometimes get tied together. The flood is a separate one. So the last hurricane 2 years ago, the Ian or Irma, there was a lot of people that had hurricane protection or hurricane insurance, but they did not have flood insurance. And the insurance companies will come back and say, that's not hurricane damage, that's flood damage, and you don't have a flood policy, so we're not covering it. So be very cognizant that just because you have a homeowner's insurance policy with a hurricane deductible or hurricane portion of it, if you do not also then have flood insurance, depending on exactly what damage happens to the house, the insurance companies might use that as a way to not pay. If you are in a flood zone and you have a mortgage, you're going to be required to get flood insurance. What we do, and I recommend it to my clients, if you're not in a flood zone, the flood insurance policy is going to be super cheap, maybe a couple $100 a year, but it's worth it in case whatever storm surge or the gutters or so much rain that it piles up. So that's something to keep in mind, that it might be worth it if you're not in a flood zone to still have flood insurance, because A, it's going to be super cheap because you're not in the flood zone.
So it's like worth it just in case, gosh.
And a lot of people that happen, especially south of us, Fort Myers, Port Charlotte area, had a lot of people that happened. They had, or
even here from Debbie, when all those people from the dam that broke, and they're not in a flood zone at all, never had to worry about it, and completely had the water
4 or 5 feet of water,
and like they never ever would. That would ever happen. But the dam did overflow from rainfall. Yeah,
and there was something with a levee. I haven't heard the full story.
Something happened.
Yeah, somebody didn't open a levee, so there's a whole lawsuit behind it. But again, to Kara's point, there are properties that are not in the flood zone, and some of them had flood insurance and they're okay, and others did not have a flood insurance because they didn't think they needed it. But it can, again, it's Florida. We have a lot of water everywhere.
What about biting your flood insurance like that right before? People try to scramble. Hurricanes coming. Oh my gosh, now I need to get flood insurance. But there's
limitations. Yeah, insurance companies, and this happens a lot when we have hurricanes on the way. Insurance companies will not bind insurance a few days before and after hurricanes to prevent somebody like getting insurance the day before. So yeah, you want to have your insurance in place long before hurricane
season, because it's not easy to get it. Then if a hurricane's coming, they're gonna shut down and
they're probably gonna overcharge you or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one. How can homeowners prepare their vehicles and ensure they are ready for potential evacuation?
Full tank of gas. Full tank of gas. The second you turn on the news in the morning and you hear hurricane might be coming to anywhere in Florida in your area, that day on the way to work, make sure you got a full tank of gas, because people are going to scramble. They're going to freak out. I know a lot of my clients, that's the first time they've been in Florida. They got here a year or 2 or 3 years ago. It's the first time it's a major hurricane. And they're like, what the is going on at the gas stations? I'm like, that's the first thing that people freak out. They go fill up the gas tank. So you want to be preemptive on that.
So I would say if you're in a flood zone, move your car. Because some people lose their cars. So it's like, that's another way to prepare, is if you know something's coming, try to, have it above anywhere. Like if your garage is up higher, great, go there. Park it at a friend's house that's further inland, something, because a lot of people have lost their cars.
Correct. Yeah. During Debbie, I believe it was, when the damn thing broke, like there was hundreds of cars just where we walk our dogs, like a 1 mile track around our neighborhood, and I can't even count how many cars were like 3 or 4 feet underwater.
Flooded. Yeah. Or like move it away from like big trees and like like whatever. Try to do the best you can with your vehicles.
Make sure it's not under any big trees.
Yeah, because if you lose your car, that's
that's an extra suck.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. What resources are available for homeowners to track hurricane updates and receive reliable evacuation notices? Yeah,
so thankfully we have a lot of local news sources and the Weather Channel and the hurricane trackers.
There's 4 different platforms you look on, but
the main thing is just to stay up to date. You don't have to I love binge watching it when the
I know it's like on my TV.
I turn into like an 80-year-old guy. I gotta watch every second of it. But no, just stay up to date. Thankfully, there's a lot of notifications can be sent to your phone and stuff. So
yeah, your phones are gonna be buzzing off the hook. But stay be like on the lookout for your evacuation zone, and if you are forced to leave, then you need to leave. So just kind of stay on it, and everyone sometimes hates watching the news, but you're going to have to watch the news the whole time because that's all you need to do to kind of be in the loop of things and where the storm is at and where it's headed.
Correct.
After a hurricane, what are the final steps homeowners should take to assess and repair any damage safely?
So yeah, just make sure that there's any tree limb. Like take pictures of everything. Make sure if you did evacuate that you brought all your like paperwork with you, birth certificate, passports, yada yada yada. And then when you get back, just make sure. A lot of people, I'm at fault of this too. Like you just want to get back and fix everything,
right? But
probably the good option is to take pictures of everything, especially if you are going to do some type of insurance claim,
right? With FEMA and stuff, 100%. Take a video, take a picture. Yeah. Don't move anything yet because then you can lose out on getting any help from all these like organizations because they're not going to know.
So make sure you take a lot of video evidence, pictures, all that good stuff.
Yep. That's really kind of it, unless there's any other hurricane preparedness.
I think the main one is just like if you're not in a flood zone, get flood insurance. I think that's
flood insurance. Yeah, that's a big one that a lot of people don't do, especially like you said, if it's not expensive, then just do it. Especially with all these storms lately, we don't know what next year hurricane season will be like, so you should go get flood insurance right now just to be safe.
The insurance guy
and get your hurricane kit now while everything is in stock in the store.
Correct. And you have to put up hurricane shutters because the insurance companies might come after you if you didn't at least do an effort to protect.
Just have your friend come over, your neighbor, help you put them up, and you'll be good to go. And we're all going to ride out the next one, and it's going to be fun.
It's a few years, bro.
Yes.
It's not too bad yet. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.